Guys, welcome back, Attack. Today we're going to be playing Boob the MMO. Okay, no, this is League of Angels too, yeah. It's going to be an angel collecting game. It's going to be a girl collecting game. Really, it's a party formation game. Really popular on mobile devices and also a lot of browser games. And this is going to be a browser-based, MMO, quotation marks, bunny ears, whatever. It doesn't really feel like an MMO. I'm just saying, and this is going to be kind of like a rant style video. I'm just saying it doesn't really feel like an MMO. You kind of really just go it alone. You form your own party by collecting different angels. Yeah, you know. It's highly sexualized. It really is. And this is one of those MMOs that it got really popular. Now, the prequel did, at least. The prequel got really popular thanks to its well, it's really insane advertising and borderline illegal advertising, but League of Angels is a really popular game, and this is the sequel, so we should probably talk about it. Now, there is some actual gameplay to be had in this game. A lot of its competitors are completely just autoplay, and you don't really do too much. Now, I'm not saying this game's not pay to win, because there is pay to win mechanics here. The shop does have items that just straight up have bonuses that you can purchase with money, and you can also, there is a sort of like, kind of like a gambling sort of thing going on where it's like a randomization where you like kind of draw different angels, different characters, and you can equip them into your party. Now, it's not just females, I will say that. There is actually at least one male that I was able to equip in my party. And there's different sort of like positions you could put these characters. So you want to have the tank in the front, probably the healer in the back, and the DPS on the sides. And you can mix and match different characters and different kind of archetypes. And there is some strategic gameplay with equipping your different characters, tactical gameplay with when I guess you use the different abilities. Now you only have one ability. So I think this is kind of similar to Hero Rush, where characters just have like the one ability and there's a cooldown on it, so they have auto attacks, and then you press the super ability whenever you get it, and the timing is kind of like the game, sort of, like you gotta know when to click it. Like you want to use your AoE damage first, and then solo out the boss, and then use your solo DPS on the boss. You don't want to use your solo DPS on trash. Whatever, it's really small, simple mechanics that in the end, as you get through the game, it becomes more and more complex, but first impressions when you jump in the game, it's going to just be AFK worthy. It's going to be super, super easy, but I imagine as time goes on and on, the difficulty is going to ramp up tremendously, which is actually kind of a cool thing because it's going to incentivize getting different members of your party, equipping them with different items. The problem with these games, though, is that they are pay to win, or they do incentivize you spending money. So all this cool mechanics that could be kind of explored, you can't really explore it, you're behind a paywall, it sucks. Now let's talk about the sexualization. I am so for over-sexualization. I mean, pretty much I think everybody loves Blade and Soul, right? The game is artistic. This game also doesn't look bad. I mean, graphically, I think we have to admit, it looks pretty good. The problem is just like, kind of invades like, it invades the story. It invades everything about the game. It kind of almost is just, hey, boobies, boobies for boobies. Now, I will say that there is a little bit more merit to this game than its competitors. I will say that, but it's still in a genre of game that I am not at all comfortable with yet, and the mostly Western audiences just not very comfortable with this type of game either. There's a sort of like gacha or gambling, sort of like a lot of RNG based progression in the game, which is not very cool unless it's cosmetic. RNG is not fun whatsoever. And even then, there's probably an argument to be made. So actually collecting these characters, leveling them up, all of it, it's just a huge grind. When you actually play the game though, the levels, they're not even that long. And they have like this sort of 3-star system, which is very common in mobile games. In fact, this game probably would do very well on mobile devices, but it's a browser game. As a browser game, the audio is not that great. The visuals are okay, but the frame rate is super limiting. And if you have bad internet, or if you have a cap on your bandwidth, you're not going to enjoy this game. And all in all, like, it's still, there's definitely like a level of autoplay to the game. And I just feel like this game, I mean, as a sequel to League of Angels, I feel like it could have evolved. It could have become like something super awesome, amazing. But really, it's lackluster. And even though I'm biased, I'm trying to remove my bias and say that I think if you liked the original, or if you like this genre, this is probably a good entry. It looks good, and I can see like a symbionts of a game behind the mask of boobies. But all in all, it's just not quite there. We can obviously see the ploys. We all know that this game is just searching for a whale, somebody who's kind of fiendish in ways and just wants to collect all the boobies. That's basically it. They just want the whales, they just want a lot of money, and you can totally see the money grab. I don't like games where you can obviously see the money grab. I don't think anybody really does, except for the very few whales who do, and they spend the money, and then that's why these games exist. Anyways, so tell me what you think. I'm definitely heavily biased on these kind of games. At least, though, I will say that the game doesn't just play itself. There is some mechanics to the game. There is some strategy, like I said, with the party formations, and different characters do have different abilities. It's not just different sort of flavors of DPS. Like some can freeze, they add CC, some characters maybe put people to sleep, freeze them, burn them, maybe there's gonna be dots. I don't know the full mechanics of these different characters, but what I did play, I did get to see that there at least was some different kind of characters, not just archetypes, but also different types of DPS, and in them, some people are kind of unique. Of course, again, I gotta say, this ruins the game for some people, like it does myself. It's kind of pay to win, and it's really hard to get the rare characters with special effects. So the whole party mix matching, you can't even really explore that because it's behind a paywall, basically. Or you gotta spend hours and hours, and it's just way too much time to even really start to begin to play the game. So if you like looking at really pretty art, honestly, there's actually better games out there, but it's not bad. If you love this genre, and if you got money to spend, then you can truly explore this game and play it. But to be honest, for an MMO, it doesn't really feel like an MMO, and honestly, most people playing this game are just playing it for a few seconds and leaving it. So you're gonna have to be a part of the elite, and that elite is definitely not a massive population. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Skylight with Attack Gaming. No, it's a short little criticism, but then again, to me, heavily biased, and I don't feel like this game is really worth that much more time. Hopefully you had fun, and I'll see you again in the next one. Welcome back, Attack, and today we're going to be talking about 2016's best MMORPGs. These are going to be the new MMO games that we get to experience, at least in the West. Yeah, some of these games are going to be localized titles, but for the most part, these are going to be entirely new MMOs, so get hyped for that. And these are going to be the games that we are almost certain will actually launch in 2016. But with that in mind, let's go ahead, jump right into it, starting at number 10.